Welcome to another edition of the Caregivers Network podcast, the place where family and caregivers come together to learn, grow, and get supported. I'm Reggie Cunningham,
And I'm Marlon Phillips.
and each week we explore personal experiences to help us navigate and deal with the challenges of caregiving with confidence.
And whether you're supporting a loved one or working on the front lines, we want you to know we stand with you. In this episode, we have Miss Joy, and we'll let her introduce herself and tell her what she'd like to share with us.
All right. Well, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here with you guys. And currently, I am a caregiver, so to speak, for my mother.
Okay.
She is 83 years old, and this may be the odd part about me being a caregiver, as I think most people probably live near their loved ones or live with their loved ones. My mom is actually an hour away from me in a different city. So I reside in Cordova and she lives in Jackson, Tennessee.
Oh, okay.
She lives alone. She is widowed, twice widowed. And I have my family here, so uh, that didn't go over well. She really just wanted to be, or she really wants to be in her own home. But this all kind of started, I would say, about a year ago or so, is
Mhm.
around about when it started, where I started noticing she couldn't do a lot of things that she used to do. She wasn't the same mom that I
Right.
knew
Yeah.
be. She didn't keep house the same way.
Mhm.
And it's we're still in a place of uncertainty, meaning she took a small dementia test, she passed that, but it's very clear to me and my family that she has some mental issues, mental as far as memory and getting things
Mhm.
mixed up. And um like I say, it's we're in a time of uncertainty because she passed the dementia test, but I guess I can always go get a second opinion
Well,
or get
let me just interject something there. So my
yeah.
mother lived with me for 7 years. She passed away at 93, and she was diagnosed with dementia 6 or 7 years ago. So
Okay.
it's a very progressive and debilitating disease. But I just wanted to share with you that the doctors may not always get it right because you know your mom's behavior. And if you
Yeah.
see a decline or things change, and specifically you mentioned memory. Memory is a telltale sign of issues with dementia. Understanding, to my knowledge and what I experienced, there's 4 or 5 phases of dementia. And the memory loss, not remembering stuff, and to your point, just the little things about not keeping house the way she wants to. Those are little things that you just need to be cognitive of. And, Rick and I can both tell you, if you're not satisfied with one doctor's opinion, get
Get
another.
another.
But the other thing I'll say is this: don't tell them what you think. Tell
Okay.
them what's been going on with your mother and let them come up with the diagnosis because, they kind of be like those spiritualists. The more you tell them, the more they're going to tell you what you want to hear or don't want to hear. So
It,
just
Okay.
be open and, my mom, she used to do this, she used to do that. Her memories, this, that, the other, and let them give you all the diagnosis. That's first. Second, I just want you to realize that you don't live too far away. We've talked to some people that 35, 40 miles away, depending on traffic, and sometimes it's a daily grind for them.
Yeah.
So that's just part of uh, uh, being caregiver that you're getting ready to undertake. The third thing I want to ask is, what about siblings? You mentioned some other people. So you have siblings that are assisting you, or are you just on your own?
No, I'm alone. It's only me.
Wow.
all
Well,
right,
hey,
and I want to share with
welcome to
you.
the club.
Yeah, I want to share with you, Joy, that we spoke with a family yesterday,
Yeah.
the mother and two daughters, and they said exactly the same thing. They knew some things wasn't right with their
Mhm.
father, and they took him to the doctor, and the doctor told them, "Oh, he's fine, right?"
Yeah.
And then when they took him back to the doctor after noticing, more things, it's like, "Oh, we got to, do something right away, because then they saw the progression or the degression of
Fine.
his
Yeah.
abilities and whatnot. So don't take one doctor's opinion and leave it at that. You may have to go a couple of times, and
Yeah.
because they don't know your mother,
Right.
Right.
you know
Yeah.
your mother, and it's just like dealing with a child. You have to be the advocate for your mother now, like you were
Absolutely.
advocate for, your child,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And also with that, I know we talked about the memory thing, and I use that term loosely. And the reason because is I see more of her getting things mixed up and just
Mm-hmm.
not just saying things that aren't true. And I don't
Mm-hmm.
know what category that goes in. For I can give you an example, a recent example, as far as I don't know, about 10 days ago.
Go ahead.
She seems to think now that she has to like oil her body up, like grease it up with, she uses all these different kinds of
Mm-hmm.
oils. She feels
Yeah.
like they have to set in her skin. Like she claims that the doctor told her this, but
Mm-hmm.
that didn't happen. That never happened. So
No,
it's not
that's
memory loosely. It's more like a big mix up and just saying stuff that just is not. And she made some accusations about an illness that my son has, and he has no
mhm.
illnesses at all.
Well, that is definitely the onset of dementia, because some of the behaviors that you're explaining, my grandmother and my mother both, you know, they used to accuse people of stealing their clothes.
Yeah.
This lady from down the street, she's come over and she's come to my closet and she took my dress and took this and stuff like that. So I was like, Mom, Nanny, no, that's not true. Yeah, I remember it was there, and they weren't physically abusive, but they really pressed the point, and there really was nothing there. But those are the little things that you need to just keep an eye on. The skin, stuff like that. She may just feel like her skin needs to be moisturized, and I need to put all these oils on them, for my protection. Or sometimes there is no reason. One thing about dementia, you can't get into their mind. So one day
So,
they'll be okay,
Joy,
another day they come back out.
tell us
Yeah.
a little bit more about what you're going through. So you started noticing your mom was having some memory issues. What else was going on?
So what really brought it into full effect was back in October. She stayed with us for her birthday week, and she just was really not herself, more so than normal. And we would say we were going somewhere one day that morning. Typically, she would say, okay, and then she would get ready, get her clothes on, and we would go. But this time, she would get up and she would just seem kind of lost. And she's
Mhm.
like, so what do I need to do? And I would
Mhm.
say, well, get your clothes on, go get ready, and we're going to go in about an hour. Then I would go back in there 15 minutes later, and then she was laying back in the bed again. So this was
Mhm.
not her normal self. Even
Yeah.
she hadn't been her normal self in a while, but you know what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
I ended up taking her to this was at my house when this happened. So I ended up taking her to the emergency room in her hometown, Jackson, Tennessee, when I took her back home. And I just took her because it just wasn't right. She was just way off. She was confused about everything. Come to find out, she had a UTI infection.
That's
So
what that was going to be my point. That or blood pressure.
well, yeah, her blood pressure was fine at that time. She does take blood pressure medicine, but her blood pressure was fine. But it was a UTI, had her all
Mhm.
discombobulated and all off.
Yeah.
Once that left her system, she kind of went back to her normal self, but she still seems like that might have brought it on even more, brought the
Absolutely.
what
Yeah.
we're calling dementia on even more. So we took the car from her, and it was a lot happening at that time. So we took the car from her, and I found out recently that she thought we took the car from her because my son, he had an accident some months ago, and we're in the process of trying to get him another car. So she thought that he was just using her car for that, and she asked for her car back about 5 days ago. And so, I was like, no, you're not. And, I just had to tell her, no, you're not getting the car back. And then she wanted to argue about that. So we don't know how that's going to end, but she won't be getting the car back.
Well, let me interject this also. So the one thing that helped me with my mother and taking the car, when we
Uh-huh.
talk about this, when you take the car from them, they feel like you're threatening their independence.
True. Yeah.
That's first. But she had a hard time with us trying to decide for her not to drive until we went to the doctor. And once we went to the doctor and the doctor gave her a diagnosis that she had the onset of dementia, she was fine. She never drove again after that, and had people drive. So maybe because you're her child, they don't
Mhm.
always think you're authoritarian.
Right. She doesn't look at me as an adult, and that's been very clear for decades. So I never know what I'm talking about. And, that's a struggle there. So many different struggles. I don't even think we could discuss it all in this podcast. But so many different struggles for me at this point in my life and in her life. I'm just taking it day by day because I literally don't really know what to do. This is no book per se written on how to handle this. Every person is different.
Right.
That's correct.
Just her saying, we don't treat her right and stuff like that. That's hurtful to me.
Yeah.
And I just have to overlook that and just continue to do what I think is best.
Now,
Right.
Reggie and I
So,
have interviewed several folks where
Yeah.
they're verbally abused and
Yeah.
they've been physically abused by spouses. In one case, spouse, another case, a child. So you
Okay.
gotta just be thankful and blessed that each day that you go on and try to minimize your relationship, that she's not like that. They get a little verbal because it sounds like your mom was a very independent woman.
Very strong-minded, independent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Very bossy. All of
So
that.
everything that you tell her to do, she's reflected back. Now you're my child.
Yeah.
Okay. And the tail can't wag the dog here, but mom, no, that's not it. I'm not spreading your independence. You got to have that kind of mindset, because if not, you guys are going to be going tooth and nail.
yeah. We did a podcast, an episode with a young lady named Lisa who has been in her family was in the nursing home, and I think that episode might be beneficial for you. So I'm going to
Yeah.
send it to you later on. It is
Okay.
just some practical things you can do to adjust to your new reality.
Okay.
Like you said, there's no book
Manual.
on or manual on
Yeah.
this, and so you have to learn as you go, and we learn from one another and help one another. So she shared a couple of things with us that made a lot of sense. Let me ask
So
you
I'll give a
this: have
couple.
you thought about probably being the caregiver for your mom before the onset of this issue?
You mean what? In what way?
Did you
Having
think that
her
you were going to have to be her caregiver at
to
any
take
point?
care of her or have her move in with you or something like that.
Well, yeah, I've had thoughts of, that's just my personality and my character anyway, to always think ahead. So, yeah, from time to time, I've thought of, what does it look like in her older age? And pretty much those thoughts were just a, a vision or picture of her moving in with us. I
Right.
kind of didn't think about the part of her not wanting to. And,
Oh,
and
yeah.
Mm.
of course, I guess in some sort we could force that in some sort, but then you don't want to do that because she'll be so miserable. Like that week she stayed with us before she knew that, before we knew she had the UTI, she just was not happy there. And then she literally
Mhm.
cried. I mean, I've only seen my mom cry two or three times in my whole life. And then she cried to go home as if she were 5 years old.
But
Mm.
that resorts back to your taking her independence. She's used to having her own space, her own place, and it's
Yeah.
just psychologically that, I would rather be in my place, not yours. And you're prohibited. So you need to just think about that. You know,
What I hired someone that comes by 3 times a week,
mhm,
Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, for about 2 hours. She's a family relative, so we know her very well, and she's a retired LPN. And
good.
I'm appreciative of her doing that. So she comes by and just helps her with whatever she needs or takes her where she needs to go. So that's been a success so far. I'm not I just, like I say, I'm taking it day by day. I'm not sure how long this is going to last, but that's where we are right now.
Right.
Well, I was going to ask you about that. With her being an hour or two away from you, how are you dealing with the day-to-day things that she, experiences, things that she has to do, go to the doctor,
Yeah.
medicines, taking the medicines on a regular basis or whatever.
So yeah, the medicines, I've got to figure that out because for the most part, I'm going to say probably 85% of the time, she takes her medicine properly. But there are
Hmm.
some times when I ask her, "Hey, have you taken your medicine today?" And she actually did this the other day. And she was like, "Yeah, yeah, I've taken it." And then I always just pull out her pill box to check and see
Right. Yeah.
if it's not right. But I mean, not only just the pill box, you got to use the pill box correctly.
Yes.
Hmm.
I'm, excuse me, I'm not there every day to see if she's setting up her pill box correctly. And then there was one week when she was at my house and she was just saying she didn't it was just all off. She was saying she didn't have to set up the pill box. She knew what she had taken.
Hmm.
And I was like, in my head, I was like, but you normally set up the pill box. So why are you not, like, what are you talking about now that you
But
don't have to?
sometimes, but sometimes they'll forget. They'll forget that they've taken the pills, and their
Right.
response is, I've already done it. So, but let me ask you this about the pill box. So you have a 7-day box that has seven, and then you have the times of day like morning, noon, evening, night. Do you have a big pill box like that?
So the good thing about this is that she doesn't have to take a lot of medications. So she
Okay.
really only she takes blood pressure medication and she takes a steroid pill.
So how many times a day?
Um Once a day. She can take those at
Okay.
the same time.
Right. Right.
But in her head, well, it changes. So she'll say, like, I gotta wait till I eat before I take the steroid pill. But then I've seen her take it sometimes, first thing in the morning. So
Right.
I don't know. And she doesn't really have to take her blood pressure pill every day because it's not high every day. So she checks her blood pressure faithfully, meaning probably 2 or 3 times a day.
Right.
Um, See where that's at. But how long, we don't know how long that's going to, what if that starts getting mixed up? I don't know what the future holds for that, but that's where we are right now. She doesn't have to take a lot of medications. And if she misses the steroid pill, and she has to take the lowest dosage of the steroid for her
Mhm.
eye. We're actually going to the doctor tomorrow to Nashville for that. But
Okay.
she takes it for her eye because she damaged her eye with the eye. Oh, I forgot. She does take the eye drops. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but that can get confusing because they have different color caps on it.
That's right. That's right.
For this, one is for that. So that I'm more concerned about monitoring the eye drops than the pills. I don't want her to take too many blood pressure pills, or if she takes it twice a day because
Yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't want that to happen because then she's going to be out of it if you know how people act when their blood
Oh
pressures.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't
Whatever the
know I
whatever.
don't know what to do with that or manage that. I just kind of she's on her own with that somewhat right now, other than me asking her about it over the phone and the family member that comes by.
So she goes
Uh,
by every day. Family member or somebody goes by every day.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Every Monday, Tuesday, Friday. Okay. And what about the in between days?
Wednesday, Friday. Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
And what about the in between days?
So I come on the week. I come at least one day over the weekend. Sometimes I spend the night. Sometimes I don't. So I'll
Right.
come on either Saturday or Sunday.
My point to this is that it's the little things that sometimes make a difference. I found that with my mother, getting them in a regular routine.
Okay.
So that even their mind is mind memory and muscle memory to remember if she's got to take these pills in the morning, and it makes sense. My mother had to take a number of pills in the morning before she had breakfast.
Yeah.
And then after she
Okay.
had breakfast, then she would take them. So some of the pills, they might be the same, but if the
Okay.
doctor is recommending, medication, I would follow his instructions unless you just see something drastically different, which if I was going tomorrow, I would just ask the doc, hey, what do you think about mom's overall health? And we, been seeing this and that, just to see what he says from a general perspective. Don't feed him any
Mhm.
words. That can help out a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. I agree.
So what I can tell you is that if it is dementia, and one of the reasons my mother came to live with me because people didn't think that she was safe in the house. Now, she never did anything, never had any pots boiled over, but my mother was around 87 and she was in the house, by herself, and people were concerned that, maybe she might leave a pot on or something like that. So
Yeah.
just, because of the dementia and,
Yeah.
expecting stuff like that. So just you need to be mindful of that as well.
Yeah. And I think about that too. And I know I keep saying the same thing over and over, but I literally can only take it day by day or maybe week by week. But it's like I've got to figure out how to navigate that with someone that's not willing to work with me on that.
Man.
So
Now,
it's like, what's the next step? Okay, because I thought about all that, her trying to cook because she loves to cook and all of
mhm,
that. And she has caught something on fire. No, it wasn't serious, but
right.
it happened over the stove, but
Yeah.
be more serious next time.
Yeah.
And so I guess I'll start thinking about or trying to put some kind of plan in play for, when I know it's time
So look
to
at hey, so take a
force
deep
her to
breath.
move in. And I don't know what a forced move in look like. Can I even do that?
Well,
She's going
let
to
Well,
me,
try that.
let me
yeah.
give you like a suggestion that my wife did with her mother. Um, they had, her mother was diabetic, and she would
Okay.
often go into, I don't want to say a diabetic coma, but a serious diabetic episode.
Shock.
So
Yeah.
they used to have wheels, meals on wheels
Will.
checking her at
She
least
took
once a day.
the
So she
little
knew
hospital.
she was going to somebody was going to see her and check on her at least once a day, and that helped alleviate the issue of her going into a diabetic coma or something like
Mhm.
that. You
Yeah.
know,
And I asked her about Meals on Wheels, it might have been a week or so ago. And she was like, I don't want that dog food they give people. That food is
Oh.
horrible. Because my stepdad, he used to get it. He used to, even though she was cooking, I'm still not really even sure why he was getting Meals on Wheels, but they would bring the food by and she would talk about how bad it was. And, she called up there and told them they should be ashamed for serving that kind of food. So,
really. See, I
so
didn't get
no on
that
her.
response from my mother-in-law when she had it, so I
No.
don't know. I'm just relaying some of the
Well,
information.
if your mother is a good cook, I can see that she wouldn't want anybody else bringing food to her husband. Okay, so she would be, no, that food ain't hitting on nothing.
You
So
know what? I can see your mother,
my mother
Marley's,
most definitely.
like that. That this ain't good food. And
No,
Marley's mother was a great cook. So
so we're not having that up in here. So, but I do want to tell you this that something that Reggie and I agree on wholeheartedly is that nobody, like you said, there's no book. So
Mhm.
just be aware there is no rhyme or reason to why you want to be a caregiver. Nobody signs up to be a caregiver.
mm,
Yeah,
But it sounds
yeah,
like you're on the path that you have been at least right now designated by the family as the caregiver.
yeah. Well, yeah, it's
So
no other family really.
I was going
Just
to
me.
ask you, are there any brothers or sisters? Do you have any aunts and uncles that are?
Okay, so Yes, she has what, 7 siblings. They're all up in age. Everybody's over 75.
Okay.
Um, and most of them are in Brownsville, Tennessee. So it's nothing for them to go to Jackson, Tennessee. It's just 20 minutes away. Um, but their relationship is just not
Not good.
what it used to be. And they're older too. So they're, like one of they're like they have their own thing going on. And I
Hmm.
feel like if I would ask them to do something, yeah, they would try to do it. But like they don't even go by when they go to Jackson, they don't even stop by to see my mom. The
Mm.
relationship is weird there. I can't
Yeah,
explain.
yeah, yeah.
Like they're there if we need them, but they're not close. I guess that's what
I
I'm
hear
trying to
you.
say. They're
Yeah.
not. I mean, they used to be close, but it just hadn't been the same since COVID happened. We don't get together for holidays anymore. I
Hmm.
don't see them that often. So if I really needed something, I would call on them and they would do it. If she goes into the hospital or something, they're always there.
Okay.
They would
Right,
spend the night, but that's when they were younger. They're
right.
older now. So
And set in their ways also.
correct. Yes. Yeah.
So let
Yes.
me ask,
So
so where's your mom on a sibling chain? She the oldest, youngest, or
she is, let's see, she was the one, two, three. She was the fourth
okay,
born. And so right now, the oldest one passed away a couple of years ago. So it's two older than she is now.
okay. So
One of
she's in the
them is
middle.
in a
Okay.
nursing home. The oldest sister's in a nursing home, and then the brother that's like 16 months older than she
Right.
is here. He's actually in Bartlett in great health.
Hmm.
Still, he does chin ups, jogs every
Wow.
morning, push ups. So he's in great health, but I
So
mean,
so
he's
another
not going to take care of anybody in Jackson, Tennessee.
another thing we talk about is gender.
Uh,
It would be much easier for your mom's sisters to come look in on her than this brother, this virile brother that he has of hers, to come by and stop and check on his sister who might have some, just gender needs that would be better suited for a female. I don't think he doesn't sound like the type of guy that would be too open with that, or he'd call you.
yeah, yeah. It is. Let's see. How do I put this? Like I say, if I ask them to do it, I think the sisters would do it. But my mom, she says some outlandish things
Mhm.
sometimes. I
Yeah.
feel like it kind of turns people off.
Oh yeah.
Talk on the phone that much anymore. They used to because
Mhm.
I mean, they can tell her mind is not right. So, once people start being able to tell that, I've noticed that people don't come around as much or call
Yes,
as much as they
that's
used to.
right.
I think
Yeah.
they just don't know how to. I don't know. I don't know the
And
word for it. They
they
just don't
don't. They don't.
deal with it.
You're right. They don't know how to deal with someone in that state because most people haven't had the experience of having to deal with it.
That's
I don't
right.
know how old your grandparents were when they died, but
Yeah.
I do
74,
remember.
78, 74.
Oh
Right. And
wow.
so, did anyone have to take care of them?
They, so they should be very familiar with this. But like I say, I don't know. And I mean, I feel like it's quite possible that she could even run them off, or like I say,
Yeah.
she can do some things that's just not
Well,
nice.
I hear you now. That's
That
true. My mother was like that. It took 6 or 7 renditions for us to find a caregiver because
oh
the door swings both ways. Your mother and my mother, they got to like the caregiver, and the caregiver got to be able to work with your mother.
right,
So most caregivers, we had a firm come in. Uh, they're not really inclined to deal with somebody if they got verbal abuse right out when y'all meet. Okay, so my mother's like, no, she's not going to work. She's not going to work. I don't like the way she talked to me. So it took us a while to find somebody that had her genuine health, concern. But my mother could be a pistol. A couple of times I come home from work and Emily's on the way out the front door. I said, what's going on? She said, Mr. Phillips, your mother, this, that, and the other. I said, well, what happened? Well, I just got to go. My first question was, are you coming back tomorrow? She said,
Right.
yeah, I'll be back. So now I go upstairs and ask my mother, say, Mom, what's going on? Emily's left. What happened? And this would be something that your mother would say. I'm 92 years old and I don't need nobody telling me what to do. I was like,
Yeah.
Mom, that's why she's here to help and assist you. But she don't understand. I didn't get to be 92, 93.
Yeah.
But then her final question was, well, did she say she was coming back tomorrow?
Mhm. Mhm.
you,
Mhm.
you
So
know,
it takes a while to find somebody that will not take it personal and cultivate a good personal relationship with your mom, because that will
Yeah.
help you out tremendously.
Yes. Right.
Yeah, yeah.
in
So
a
it's
lot of
something to think
cases,
about.
it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I got a sister that is obstinate with me and my younger sister. She needs assistance in a lot of different ways, but since she's the oldest of the three of us, it's like, well, I'm the older sister. I know best,
Yeah.
even though she doesn't. And all we try to do is help her. So she's not taking any direction sometimes when it comes to things like that, that what she should be doing. And all I can do is throw up my hands because cognitively, she's still pretty much there, but
Right.
physically, there's a lot of stuff she can't do anymore, and she's got health issues. And so, yeah, I'm still trying to navigate how to best help her without it seeming like we're trying to take over. Because
Or
I
or
say
or
anything
or
is, I know, and I'm, if you know
or
so
or
much,
or making me feel like you verbally abusing me.
right, right.
I'm here to help, but I just want to read a couple of quotes here that Lisa gave us for you to think about, Joy. A couple of them was like, regarding to your mom, say agree and never argue, you know,
That's hard.
divert but never reason. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Reassure but never lecture.
Okay.
Never
Joy,
say I told you.
Joy, why do I get the feeling you're a lot like your mom? Is
Or
that the
did I
You
case,
hit your
Joy?
funny bone? Some of those stuff funny.
you would just have to be there when I try to, even sometimes when I try to just agree and go go on, and then it's like she doesn't believe it, and then she'll pick an argument about that. Yeah, you sitting over there being smart, but you
Oh
gonna see
Lord.
it.
Oh boy. No, I'm
Right.
not. I'm just trying to, so it's funny that you said it because my grandmother was old school, my mother. So we used to have conversation. She said, just go on and say what you're going to say. You're a man, you can say it. I said, no, listen, Nanny, you're my grandmother or you're my mother. I can't just talk to you like somebody in the street. I need to express to you what I'm saying, but also that you take it the right way and not as disrespect. So I have to be cautious with my words so that you understand what I'm saying, but not disrespecting you. She said, oh, well, you're a man. Just going to say it. I can take it. That's not going to hurt me. I said, well, that, fine, but I can't do that. Okay.
I think
So
a
I
lot
need you to understand,
that
you
I
get my meaning, but I not disrespecting you. So it could be a little challenging talking to him sometimes. The other thing I used to do is I used to record when I had conversations with her. Because I would say, Mom, see how you were talking to me like this? She said, no, I was son, I wouldn't do that to me. Why you don't tell me those things? I said, here's a video. Look, oh
yeah,
Lord, is that me? I said, yeah, that's you.
yeah.
That helped tone it down a little, you know.
Okay. Okay. Well, and I also have to contend with she's right because the Lord has told her that. So I'm not in the word, is what she tells me. I'm not saved, so I don't know what I'm talking about. And therefore, she's like, that's what I say. It's a lot. It's a lot. You guys have to be there. So she feels like she has this. army of the Lord backing her up, with the responses
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so she Bible beating you too, huh?
yeah, yeah. And I mean, like the other day, she was talking about next year, y'all gonna be sorry when I'm not around for
Oh,
Christmas and this and this and that. And I'm like, Mom, what are you talking about? I may
no.
not be around for Christmas. He says, no, Lord has told me. I said, told you what he told you when your last day is? She's like, no, I don't know when my last day is.
There you go.
I, I said, well, I don't either. I don't know if I'll be around next Christmas either. And then she'll say, and then I said, I may pass before you do. She said, no, it's not set up that way. And I said, what do you mean it's not set up that way? She said, you're not in the word. You're not going to understand. So
Oh, is she a deaconess?
in the word, I mean, she just wasn't making any sense. That's all that was. But I, I don't, those conversations lead to, I don't like to call it an argument. It's really just me trying to see if
Yeah,
we
for what it's
get
worth.
any clarity, yeah, any understanding from
So
our
my
conversation.
favorite line is, and I'll share this, you can have it. When they go off on you about the word, you can just say, listen, you're not going anywhere until God call you home. End of story. Nothing else needs to be said. So until he call you, you're going to have to deal with me. And then I would just give her some space. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah,
because she got that Bible and you're not going to win.
never win. Yeah, she always brings it up in the middle of whatever. Whatever we're talking about. She says the Lord, she's going to wait on the Lord to give her even with the driving, when we took the car, and I even told her it wasn't true, but I told her that the doctor said she can't drive anymore. And she was like, I don't care what the doctor said. I'm going to drive my car. And then I tried to talk about the insurance. I said, the insurance is not going to cover you. She was like, I don't care about any of that. And then
Oh,
went into something with, she said she's going to do what the Lord tells her to do. So
I, we,
there you
we,
have
we laughing with you, not at you. Because it's like your mother's a pistol. And,
it.
and you need to start planning out. So let me ask you to that point. Um, do you have any powers of attorney over her for her medicine, for doctors, or her bank business?
Durable power of attorney. I think that's all financial, though, the durable power of attorney. I'm not sure
Right. Okay.
what power of attorneys I would need. I don't really know what else I need outside of power of attorney. I know I'm trying to get my name on the deed of her home. Just get my name
So
added.
that's simple. That can be done in 15 days. And all you got to do is a quick claim deed for $1.
Yeah, and I read.
Yeah,
Oh, wait,
yeah,
go
yeah.
back. I
Yeah.
missed
Quick claim for
dollar.
$1. They can do that usually if she owns the house outright. Usually it's 15 to 17 days, and it's done. And
Well, I
everything's
want
correct.
on it. Both, not just me, but both of us. I just want to be added. Is that what you're talking about?
So
Yeah,
well,
you can do
so
that. You can do
there's
that.
there's a couple. Yeah, you can do it, but you need to just look at how you do it so that if God forbid something happened to her, you don't get caught up with estate tax or capital gains for you. That's why you need to just make sure that you do the quick claim and you become tenants in entirety with joint survivability. So that if something happened to her, you get the house. If something happened to you, she would get the house.
Well,
You need the
so
survivability in there, and that
so
takes
as a
care of that.
disclaimer, Joy, we are
Yeah.
not lawyers. We
You're
No,
not,
recommend that you
yeah,
go
yeah.
talk to a lawyer, all right,
That's what, yeah, definitely.
and get this done, you know, uh, the correct way. And also, I will attest, and I'm sure Marty will also. You need to make sure that she has a will in place. You don't want the state telling you what
um,
to do.
pause. Let's pause on that for a minute. Let me tell you so you can speak to what actually is going on. So, never believed in a will because she said she doesn't do a will because she said the will all it does is all the state or bill collectors or whatever come in and gives them opportunity to take all the money that they need to take out of it and go that way. So what she believed is she wrote a letter and she got it notarized. And I also recorded it.
Mm-hmm.
that every even though I'm the only child, but still we did it anyway. That everything is to go to me. We typed it up, wrote it out. I can't remember if it was typed or written. She signed it, we got it notarized, and she's using that as her will per se, but
Okay.
she doesn't have an official will.
All right. Well, that will probably suffice, but again, that's something you need to talk over your lawyer with. Um,
Yeah.
you know, I'm just looking at it from, a legal issue that you can run into if there's no will. They call that dying intestate, and then the government can come in, local municipalities can come in and dictate what happens with the assets of your mother. Now, and
Or it goes into probate, and then that's another
that's a
process.
whole nother issue. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
whole nother issue. So, um, in
Simple,
your
keep it simple
situation,
and
it's a
stupid.
little
Yep.
bit better because there's only one child to deal with.
Yeah.
It could become an issue though if something happens to you before it happens to your mom, you
Right.
know.
Yeah.
So you need to
Yeah.
take a look at that also. But let me change subjects just a little bit, and let me ask you, how is the dementia of your mom affecting your family?
If I give you an honest answer, it would be I really don't know. Uh,
Mhm.
I think we're all sad to see it happen, especially
Hmm.
my son. He's 17. I feel like he just I don't know. It's only myself, my husband, and my son. And you're
Okay.
talking
Mhm.
my immediate family, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and both of them, my son and my husband, they're not emotional people. They don't really talk about their feelings, so to speak. So, I can
That's
just
a man.
tell,
That's a man thing.
yeah, yeah, my son, or my husband did tell me, I think a couple of months ago, he was like, oh, he was just real sad about it one day. I could tell it was affecting him. But that's about
Mhm.
all I'll get from him. My son just made a comment a few months ago where he was like, I'm kind of worried about Grammy.
Mhm.
Hmm.
I don't, that's why I say I don't really know. That's all I got as far as how it's
Well,
affecting.
what I can share with you is my younger son came and was living with us too, and he would get a little uncomfortable going because he's been around her and he's seeing a decline.
Right.
But the best thing they can do is just spend time with him, because
Yeah.
dementia is just debilitating, and invariably, everybody's going to get uncomfortable, but that's not going to change your ability to have to take care of them, for lack of a
Right.
better word. Yeah, yeah,
And it's
yeah,
hard for everybody, you see this person in one light, and then you see that their abilities are declining before your eyes. I know I
yeah,
used to go down and visit my dad once a month, and I could notice the changes in him, the slight changes in him. He walking
yeah.
a little bit more leaned over, or walking a little slower. When he was always a bright sprite, man. So I understand. It's
Yeah.
sad to see, them become less of the person that they were.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that sometimes with dementia, the caregiver, for whatever reason, it's not uncommon, sometimes catches the brunt of the discord from the person you're taking care of just because you're there. Everybody else can come in and is jovial and everybody's having a good time, but when it's just the two of you, she's giving you the blues. You know what I'm saying? He or she is giving you the blues. We had a gentleman on, a friend that we're going to get on, but he and his wife are married 58 years, and she suffered from dementia, and it was just a quick decline. But he used to express how difficult it was for him because she didn't recognize him. And
Hmm.
she used to say some really mean-spirited things to him, in her state of mind that for 50 years he had never heard before. So, just got to do as much as you can and plan as much as you can to make it easy for everybody involved.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But it's not like it's going to be on you though.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. For
I
sure.
I think one thing that we've learned that you need to give yourself some grace
Mhm.
because this isn't easy
No.
Right.
and it's new and it's challenging and I know I felt and I still do ill equipped to deal with the things I have to deal with my daughter, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard her in the background. She said, "Heard that." So it's just so it can be difficult at times. It can be difficult at times, but we're all human, and just do the best you can and make sure you get some rest because
Yeah,
Marlon and I both would tell you, as we both have been told,
yeah,
that if something happens to the caregiver, then what happens to your mom?
yep,
Right. I guess my husband have to take he's out here with me now. So I don't know. I've
yeah.
thought
You know,
about it. I don't have an
you
answer
can
for
put
that.
him on because it's funny because we had a show we talked about that. That okay, yeah, you
Hey,
can get
hey,
in.
how you doing?
You can get in there for sure because if you are not in a healthy, strong relationship and your spouse is in the board, what happens if something happens to you? Because the other person can say, you know what, I'm not going to do it. And that could go a whole different direction. So it is important to us, and we talk often about having a spouse that's on board with you to give you, the emotional and mental support that you need.
And he just
Yeah.
responded. He said, "No, I'm here." He said, "I'm there. Let them know
Okay.
I'm here."
We know it's difficult. We know it's difficult,
Yeah, it ain't easy for
but
sure.
that's good. That's good.
Yeah, because right now, both Reggie and I, when I had to do this all by myself with my mom, so now, I passed the single father torch on to Reggie now since my mom passed away. But I can sympathize with you and being the only one. I mean, you know,
Yeah. And then I
the,
went and did the same thing. I just have one child also. So, yeah, when I'm in my old age, and then he's a boy. So that's even double
yeah.
scary.
So let me talk about that because I'll make a joke that my mother was 93 and she passed away.
Hmm.
And I saw more of her anatomy first than I wanted to, but
Yeah.
in 6 months than I saw in 93 years of life.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it can be challenging when it's a man and a woman. I mean, husband and wife, that's a little bit different situation. But
Yeah.
son on mother, father on daughter, it yields its own challenges, but
Yeah.
But it's
mother has
also
that.
it may also be extremely difficult for you when if and when you get to a point where you have to bathe your mom, right? I don't know if you
Yeah.
considered that. I thought about that.
So when she
Well,
was in the hospital, she some years ago, she had cancer in the small intestines. And
right.
so had to have the same operation that people with pancreatic cancer have, which is called a Whipple. So
Oh,
she
oh,
was
she got a Whipple
in,
theory.
she
Oh,
was
wow.
down. Yeah, she was down for, and what's weird, this kind of off subject. What's weird is her primary care physician read the notes and it says she had pancreatic cancer,
Pancreatic
but
cancer.
that's not what we were discussing in the hospital. As I was speaking with the surgeon every day,
Mm.
he never ever said it was pancreatic cancer. So I'm not sure how that evolved. But anyway, that's off subject. But yeah, I had to bathe her. She was in the hospital for a long time and even had to go to rehab care after that. And I would help there was a time I would help like the nurses that would come in and bathe. And I'm not,
Yeah,
nurses work. I'm not that kind of stuff is not really for me, but it's my mom.
there you go.
And
Now,
so
I,
you
I,
do it out of love, right? But
Right.
it's not something
I
that
hear
I
you, but I couldn't do the bathing part.
yeah,
Thank God I had a nurse come over, but the bathtub thing, it was enough for me to help her get in and out of the bathtub.
yeah,
Okay, but as far as the bathing and taking care of all of those areas, the nurse always did that. Because my mother,
yeah,
she used to joke, like, might be a time where you have to give me a bath. I said, no, that's not going to happen. But now here we are. You know what I'm saying? So imagine if you are taking care of your mother, but imagine then if it was your brother and you weren't there to take care of his mother. Say, I don't know how comfortable everybody would be with that.
Right.
or your son, since you don't have a brother. Yeah, we had
Yes, or your
one
son.
guest
Yeah.
on, and she was pretty much the caregiver of her mom because her dad died when she was young, and her mom had some mental issues all these years, and now she's taking care of him or taking care of her. But it's come to a point that her husband has had to do some things too, and so you can imagine how uncomfortable it was for him, to help his mother-in-law, with
Yeah.
those types of things, right?
Yeah.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. But it's really, you kind of look around, it's like, well, what other answer do I have? Especially if you're in a financial bind or something, then it's gonna have to be you, because I know this caretaking stuff can get expensive,
Mm-hmm.
So, so
so
there's two trains of thought. One, you can move your mother in with you, and you have nurses come over and assist you and take care of her, but in your house,
yeah,
okay?
yeah.
Or you have to put her in a assisted facility. And
Well,
that's
this is what I want to know. This she has Medicare, and then the other insurance, to help
supplemental.
with that. Does that cover things like that? That's
No,
really like a lot of stuff that I
it
need to
does.
know around that. What
I
covers
it,
what?
it does not.
Okay.
Medicare does not take care. Medicare, okay, does not take care of nurses coming to your house. That's all out of pocket.
Okay. All right.
And and if you go to a nursing home, because you may not have the financial resources to have a nurse
Mhm.
come to your house, then they're going to want you to liquidate all the assets in their name to take care of your loved one.
Liquidate her assets, not mine.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, however you want to do it. They
Okay.
just want to be paid. And
Yeah.
because for me, I paid every week. I paid the home care nurse every single week. So
Yeah.
uh those are
And
the
what
two
what
trends.
what's the price range? Because like I said, we have a family friend now, so I really don't know how much it would cost, but that is an option that I've thought about. I don't know if it's 500 a week or if it's 300 a
No,
week.
no. So look, so I mean, I'm up in the Washington, D.C., Virginia area. So the agency, when we first started with the agency, they were charging me $45 an hour.
Okay.
Okay. And I was having her come uh 5 hours, so 25 hours a week. So
Okay,
it's
gotcha.
basically, so 25, you just take 25
Okay.
times 25, that's six. So it was cost about $1,300 a week to take care of my mother. And that's for 5 days.
And what would you have the nurse do coming by for those
So
five?
the nurse would get in, she would get here at 9 o'clock. She would get my mother up, bathe her every day, fix her breakfast, get her downstairs, physical therapy, mental therapy, doing stuff with her hands, writing and stuff like that, fix her lunch, make sure she got her pills. Then she
Okay.
would walk 3 or 4 laps around the house, then go
Okay.
upstairs. So I'm just on certain days, then they would meditate for an hour or so.
Okay.
And then she would fix my mother's dinner.
Okay.
She would leave at 4, but the dinner was ready, and I would serve my mother dinner at 6.
When you got there. Okay.
Right. So she was basically here Monday through Friday from 9 to 4, five
Okay.
days a week, and then 4 hours on Saturday from 8 to 12, off on
Okay.
Sunday.
Okay.
But it's all
What's
out of pocket.
for
There's
me?
no insurance for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just kind of needed to know, because like I said, I have no idea the cost for that, or if it's covered.
Now,
And I figured it was not covered, but I wasn't really sure.
so the other thing is this, that if you find somebody, most of these nurses at these facilities, at these companies, if you will, you could pay them, $4 or $5 more an hour, and you can get some private time with them. Their
Okay.
biggest issue is that they just want to get at least 32 hours a week to make it worth their while. That's the big thing.
Okay.
The nursing facilities, of the people that you deal with, they're not going to send a nurse over there on a regular basis unless they can get 40 hours a week. Because it was
Okay.
hard to get people to work on the weekend because they couldn't get their 40 hours to get insurance and stuff like that. But you'll figure all that stuff out. These are just some little nuances when you start putting a budget together and stuff like that. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so
All right.
does your mother own her house outright?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, no. Well, no. So she,
You don't we don't have to go into detail. What I'm just asking the general question because those are some things. If you decided to, move her to a nursing home or something like that's the kind of questions that they would ask you, as
yeah,
opposed to her
I don't
staying in
want to
your
do
house with
that,
you.
but I at least want to be knowledgeable about it. But I don't, that would be like a last resort. I don't want to have to move her into a nursing home,
Assisted
but I
facility.
don't know
Yeah.
what life's going to bring.
Yeah. Well,
So,
maybe one of the things that you can start doing now is just call around to some assisted living
Yeah.
facilities to ask them how much does it cost? You know,
well, assisted living is more expensive than a nursing home, right?
uh,
You said a live-in?
No,
no, I
like
said she
living,
said
that's
nursing
like
home.
where they live on their own, and the
Well,
nursing home is a little different, right?
so you got assisted living. That's basically somebody that can pretty much take care of themselves.
So, yeah.
And the doctor, the food, no, those are amenities. A retirement home is somebody that doesn't have any mental impairments. They're just old and they need to be assisted each day. Now there are
Yeah.
some retirement homes that deal with mentally challenged people as well, but
Yeah.
that's like a different a la carte cost. But the main two are assisted living, which is like you put her in an apartment and she goes down and gets meals every day, versus a retirement home. It's a little more regimented. Um,
Okay. And then the
she's not
nursing
going to
home
get,
is like a rehab, not a rehab,
so,
but
so,
it's more
so,
like
so a
a
rehab facility, the difference with that is that they put you in it because of some incident. You've broken your hip, broken your ankle, or some other surgery where you're just being rehabbed. And then from there, they'll move you to the nursing home.
okay.
Yep. So we learned that from our friend Lisa. They had all three:
Okay.
assisted rehabilitation and then nursing home.
Okay.
But I would
All right.
say this, just my personal experience. I would say this: if you can, and God bless you, the best thing that can happen is for her to move in with you all at your
That's what we prefer. She
yeah.
just was not happy here. She said she wasn't comfortable here. She was always afraid she was going to fall because when she came in October and got out of the chair, it was a recliner, which I
Right.
bought. I don't even like recliners. I bought this for her, by the way. She tripped over the outlet part and fell. So
Okay.
now she's always afraid, like it's like it didn't click. It's not clicking that she fell because she tripped. All
Right.
she knows is
Well,
that
so
she
she
fell at my
failed.
house.
Yeah. See, we got a lot in common because that's exactly what I put. I put a big recliner in my mother's room because I didn't want her laying in bed every day. So to your
Mhm.
point, the nurse, when she came up and got her, give her a bath and brush her teeth and all that stuff, she would go from there to the recliner. Okay, until they went downstairs and sat at the table to eat and stuff like that. So you're on the right path. You just don't really know it or not, but you're on the right path.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm.
But she needs her own room.
She has her own room here. She just says she's not comfortable here. It's just
So
not her home, I guess.
maybe you might want to just ask her, say, Mom, how about to do a little getaway and you come spend a couple days with us this weekend?
Yeah.
Just so she
She
can get used to coming down and stuff. Yeah.
at least every 3 months she'll come and stay at least for 4 or 5 days with her.
Yeah.
She'll
So you
come.
might just want to stay instead of 3 months, just come down a couple days each month.
And every time she comes, she's always thinking the next day she's going home. Like she'll come on a Sunday and I may say, all right, well, I'll take you back home Saturday. And I mean, she might get up on Monday or Tuesday and say, am I going home today? So she's like, no,
Yeah, yeah,
no,
yeah.
we said Saturday.
Okay. Well, yeah. So just then you can kind of like it's kind of like acclimating. You can just acclimating her to being in a different environment instead of just bringing her over and putting her in there for a week, just a couple times, a couple days each month, so she can get used to coming and the chair, in her room and stuff like that. So that could just help you when invariably she's going to have to come in and live with you.
Yeah. So I'm going to use you guys as a resource for me on this journey because I don't, if that's okay. Because
That's
like I
fine.
said,
That's part of our mandate to help others.
That's
We
right.
want
That's
to be a
exactly why we're
resource
doing this.
and share things with, those who are new to this caregiving, those who have been in it for a while. We all have stories, and maybe, once in a while we'll find somebody that's come upon something that is helpful. And if we can share that, that's one of the things that we want to do, Joy.
Yes,
So
mm-hmm,
I don't know.
absolutely.
I mean, do you have any other
Absolutely.
questions for us? Because I know it's challenging and I know it's new and unique. So,
right. No, not at the moment, other than what I asked a few minutes ago about, what help is out there. That's something else. I discovered, I forgot how I came upon it, but like utility bill assistance, I see
Oh,
where because she's done some crazy things with her money over the
right.
past year, all, going toward the dementia thing. And that's when I first started realizing, like, hey, I got to take over her finances.
Hmm.
But she didn't want me to do that again. It's like the driving thing. Even when I would try to set up a system for payment and stuff, it's like when I would come to her house, okay, let's sit down and let's go over these bills that you're going to pay. She didn't want to lose that independence. I
There
could
you
tell.
go. That's right.
I kept telling her, I was like, Mom, you don't even have to worry about this. Like, just don't worry about it. I'm gonna pay all the bills. You can go do. She sews. She she has she sewed for several years. She just kind of recently gave it up. She did alterations for the last 15 years.
Right.
I would tell her, just worry about your customers and deal with that. I felt like that could be her livelihood other than worrying about her bills and stuff. But yeah, I just kind of will need to know what resources are out there. I stumbled upon a resource for paying utility bills. I don't know if she qualifies, but it's just a lot of stuff I think that's out there I just don't know about, and it could possibly assist her and assist us
Well,
on
what
this
I can
journey.
tell you is it's all going to be driven on her Social Security. Whatever her Social Security money is, that'll be your baseline. And then you'll be able to go several directions once they set that baseline up. And then you'll know what you're dealing with as well, what you can and can't do, and what can be paid for and what can't.
yeah, you might
Yeah,
want to check with the utility company in Jackson and ask them about that. I don't know if you've done that yet. What assistance that do they have for the elderly?
Yeah.
They all usually have some type of a program to help out. you know.
yeah.
Yeah.
Since she owns her own home, I don't know if there is a tax
Homestead.
rebate or whatever that she can get or freeze, a tax freeze for
Yeah.
property taxes for the elderly.
Every year.
Okay.
We're going to in the morning. We're supposed to. If she's yeah, we're supposed to do that in the morning. So yeah, we know about that. We do that.
So you might want to just roll up some other conversation in if she's already having conversation about finances. Just throw a few carrots out there to see how she accepts it. To give you a sense of what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, I think one of the suggestions that Lisa may have had is, to kind of ask her if she's done this. So just to say, Mom, have you paid your property taxes for the year? And, if she gives you something other than, no, I don't know about that, maybe suggest, well, may I help you? And
Yeah.
that gives her control, as to if you help or not. But keep monitoring it, but always try to make her feel like she's in control if she's going
Right.
to get some assistance from you. You're
And
not
she
trying
has
to
the
take
final
everything, you're just
decision.
trying to
Make her
assist.
feel like she has the final decision.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah.
Tough, because my mother would get up out of bed when I'm talking to the nurse. She would say, I don't, if you guys are making decisions about me, I need to be involved in it. Mom,
Yeah.
we
Yeah. That's
will.
what she says here lately is this is my body. This is my body. This is my stuff. This is my house.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, okay,
yeah.
whatever.
Wow. Yeah. Now you gotta say, okay, you're right, it is. I'm just trying to help you maintain and keep it. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And flip that
So,
script
And
on us. Now, what would Jesus do? Wouldn't Jesus accept my assistance, Mom?
oh, and when I do that, then she's gonna tell me how unsaved I am. So she's like, "You're not saved. You're not in the word." I'm like, okay, all right.
Yeah.
maybe ask a mom, well, how do I get into work? Can you
Yeah.
help
How
me?
do I get in the word, Mom?
I already know the answer. She's gonna say, you got to read.
Come on,
And
read
you
with me,
know how to
mom.
Yeah.
Ooh, I
read.
don't think I need to meet you.
I'd be
Okay.
asking, I'd flip the script when I said, so can you get me the word? Can you read me the word? So this is
Yeah.
this is what I'm gonna give you a homework assignment. I
She would
want you to come
probably
back
say
and you tell
no,
me what
like
he
it,
says.
it just it never goes smooth. She would probably say, no, 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 you got to do this for yourself.
Well, yeah, I heard that before. So I got a question I want you to ask her, okay? This is the question I
Okay.
want you to ask her. You tell me what she says. Say, Mom, what's the difference between a miracle and a blessing? See what she's saying.
Okay.
So she's in the word. She should know and have an answer for that.
Okay.
What's the difference between a miracle and a blessing?
Man, don't get Joy
Okay.
in trouble. She's got it tough
I'll let
enough
you
as
know
Now
if I
it
I
is.
can
want you can
figure it
send us
out.
back an email and tell us what she says. I'll be interested.
Okay. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do it either
Because
probably
what
tomorrow.
happens is that might be your segue into. I've been talking to people with the Lord. You just needed something to get in so she can loosen up a little bit on that
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Well,
All
yeah,
right.
Mm.
well, good.
Well,
I
I
will
don't
tell you
know.
this though,
Do
and
you
before
have
we
anything?
close, there's one other point here is that you are the first guest we've had on where we actually saw the spouse. People have talked about their spouse, but you're the first person we've had on. So that,
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
true.
yeah, so
I was
and it's a
outside.
spouse that's willing to help you. So that
Yeah.
is the first. So yeah, we've had people talk about spouses and stuff like that, but for your husband
Yeah.
interject that for a minute, that's good. So that's good. You got to sound like you got a good person there working with you.
That means
Yeah.
you
I'm
picked well.
appreciative. Yes. Yeah. I'm appreciative. He was by me. He's outside now, but I'm appreciative.
Yeah.
He knows it's a struggle. He knows it's me by myself. So yeah.
Well, it's good because we could definitely report now on one of the episodes that we met a husband or a wife and her spouse that are in it together. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions, Joy? Any
Not at the
comments?
moment, but I can guarantee you it'll be some later, I'm sure.
Yeah. Has this been helpful a little bit to you?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, great.
Definitely.
We do appreciate you joining us.
It's also therapeutic.
Yeah.
Number one, I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
just I know I'm not the only one that's going through this, but when it first started happening, I was just like, I need to talk to somebody or I need to go see a therapist because I don't know how to really manage this emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Mhm.
so yeah.
And we both have gone through it, and everybody we've talked to have gone through it. You
Yep.
feel isolated, you feel lonely, like you're the only one going through it, and yet others are going through the same thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's one reason why we started this podcast to show others that there are a lot of us going through different issues, different challenges with our loved one, and we're not
Right.
alone. We just need to reach out and unite and help one another.
And we
Yeah.
wanted to do it in an open, just like we have it. Just be yourself, not therapeutic situation. We just having conversation about something that we're all passionate about, which is caregiving.
So,
Yeah. I think this is really a great platform. So hopefully you guys will grow this and more people should find out about it. Because I guarantee you they probably need it and they just don't know about it just yet.
If
So
you know somebody that you think might be interested, let us know. We'll certainly
yeah,
okay.
you
look at
know how
anything
to
I can
reach out
say.
to me. You've got both of our email addresses now, and so You know, it may be some other family member, somebody else that you know that are going through some type of an issue. And we've come to find out that there are a lot of different caregiving issues.
Yes.
As we found out, Joy, in Toastmasters, you know, a young man lost his wife in childbirth. And all
Hmm.
of a sudden he became a caregiver.
Mm.
Remember that? So, and we're going to talk to him soon
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. 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 I remember. And oh, I lost what I was just about to oh, I was getting ready to say, and I'm well, it's not, I know it's not a set age, but it just seems like typical middle age is when you go through this. So the point I was going to make is I'll probably know several people that could find use in this platform
Hmm.
because of
Okay.
my age range, and like we're all approaching this. My mom had me she had me at 37. So that was older. So she's older, but I have friends that are going to be coming in this path behind me,
Mm.
probably, you know.
Yeah,
So
and you're in that sandwich situation where you're caring for a parent and for a child,
yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So I know it's difficult. It's a juggling act.
Yep. As
Yeah.
Lisa would say, it's a balancing act.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, day by day shall continue. Take it day by day.
All right.
Yep.
Marlon, do you have anything else to add before we close out?
Well, we will say this as I tell everybody else. We will always pray that you have strength, not for patience,
Yeah.
but we pray that God give you strength because we both agree that God will test your patience. We will continue to pray for strength for sure.
Yes.
All right,
I
great. Thank you so
appreciate it.
much for joining us. That is it for this edition of the Caregivers Network. If you like what you hear, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. If there is a topic you'd like for us to explore in the future, please add that to your comments. You can also check us out at cgn, the number one.org, and leave a request, a question, or a comment. Thank you for joining the Caregivers Network.
And Joy, remember to shoot for the
Mhm.
moon. And even if you miss, you'll still be amongst your
The
stars.
stars. All
Yeah.
right. Thank
No,
you.
not
All
the
right, thank you,
stars,
everybody.
your
Let me end
stars.
this now.
My